And hello again, everyone. Today, the next town that I'm visiting is Palmer, Iowa. Population 138 people. And the population in Palmer peaked in 1940 at 305 people. So they've lost about 2/3 of their population over the last 75 years or so. And this is the town coming up. It looks like they have quite a big grain elevator operation going on here as well. And the main street should be coming up soon. Wessel's Oil, Palmer, Iowa. And this is the main street. Looks like a pretty quiet Saturday afternoon. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on here. There's a lumber and construction company in that building, and a lot of these, let's see if I can get a better view of these here. A lot of these buildings here look empty. Does not look like there's any businesses in these buildings here, but those grain elevators, though, it does look like those are still in operation there. And that is a pretty big grain operation they got going on for a town of 136 people. And there's a public library, and this building at the very end says Palmer Savings Bank. And some more background information on Palmer. The median resident age is 43 years old. 56% of residents are married. And let me see if I get a better look at these buildings over here. There's even a payphone over there too. Wonder if that works. But does not look like there's any businesses on this side either. And there is a water tower over there, and that's how you know that you're basically in a small town, is when you see those. Anyhow, continuing on, average household size is 1.9 people, so there's not too many children here. The per capita income is about $30,600 per year, and that's actually kind of surprising, though that is still a little bit below the national average. If you consider that the average price of a house here is approximately $31,000. That is a pretty high per capita income, and household income is approximately $51,600 per year. So that means your average household here can buy just about 2 houses every year, just based on their income. And that does seem pretty high, considering some of these houses really aren't kept up that well. And I think the reason for that could be is they may be including the income of the surrounding farm area in those numbers as well. And that house, I don't know if anyone's living in there. Does not look like it. But quite a few of these houses, though, it doesn't look like the average family is making $51,000 per year. But these the people that own the farms further out, not really further out, you just go like a block up the street, and it's basically just mile after mile of farmland, and their incomes are probably quite a bit higher. And this looks like the end of the town here, and then the start of the cornfields and the soybean fields. And just a little bit more background information on Palmer. Crime is below average at about 18 incidents per 1,000 people. So it's a relatively safe place to live, and most of the reported crime is property crime. It's non-violent, supposedly. 91% of the residents are white and 74% are Republican. And now that we are quite a ways outside of Palmer, that will conclude my tour of Palmer. And hello again, everyone. I'm about 2-3 miles outside of Palmer, and I just stopped at this abandoned house, and apparently it's part of a nature conservancy. It says the Emma M. and Arthur L. Olson Nature Preserve, and you don't really see too many abandoned houses like this out here, or at least I haven't, even though the price of homes is still pretty cheap. It's still kind of unusual to see these old houses just left here like this, and not really sure how long this one has been sitting here vacant. It does have a newer roof on it, and I'm not sure if anyone's living here. It looks like this driveway has been used, so I don't know if I'm gonna get chased out of here. So I don't think anyone's living there. What does everyone think? Just keep walking up to it, and someone comes running out, just say I'm interested in buying their property. But certainly doesn't look like anyone's living here with it being boarded up, but it does have a newer door on it. Anyhow, it's a rather interesting looking house, and they also have a pretty neat barn there in the back. Looks to be almost like a 2, maybe 3-story barn, and then there's a second one that doesn't look like it fared too well, but they're just surrounded here by these cornfields, and they even have the windmills in the back there. And be interesting if they had more information about why this house became abandoned and vacant like this. It doesn't look like it's in that bad shape. I mean, especially the roof looks like it's a newer roof. Does look like it needs a paint job, but that house might almost be worth saving. That doesn't look like it's in that bad of condition. And hello again, everyone. The next town coming up is Kellerton, Iowa, which is located in the southwestern part of the state. It is approximately 75 miles from the capital city, Des Moines. The current population of Kellerton is approximately 238 people, and that's down by about 2/3. The peak population here was in 1920s with 693 people. So over the last 100 years, this town has lost about 400 people, and the main street should be coming up, but so far, well, some of these, I guess that was a gas station at one time. That looks kind of vacant. And this next street would be the main street for the town. Yeah, it looks like there's quite a few boarded up businesses. Looks like the only business is the Kellerton Fire Department on this street. And there's a Tom's Bar and Grill. And just some more statistics. The median resident age here is 34 years old. So relatively young population. Average household size is approximately 2.4 people. So that means there are households with some children here. Per capita income is approximately $20,900. And that is a little bit below average by about 15,000. The median household income, which includes all household members, is approximately 41,000. And that's actually not too bad considering the average price of a house here is approximately $61,000. Though I do kind of question how accurate these statistics are, and also small towns like this, they're surrounded by farmland. There's a lot of corn and soybean farms, and I think the farmer's income kind of brings everyone else's up as well. Because some of these houses in here, they really didn't look like people were making $41,000 a year, but it is possible. Crime here is relatively low at approximately 15 incidents per 1,000 people, and that is below the national average. And just a few more statistics. 92% of residents are white. The unemployment rate's a little bit high here at 6.5%. So the job situation might be a little bit difficult, as it is in most rural towns. And let's see what else. 46% of residents are married. 78% of people have completed high school, and 4% have completed college. And lastly, 73% of people here are Republican, which means they did vote for Trump, and that is rather surprising, but that's what the statistics say. I'll go with it. It's just kind of odd that a town that's maybe a little bit in poverty, maybe not the entire town is impoverished, but there certainly was some poverty, that 73% of people would support Trump. So that was probably the most surprising figure there. And now we're pretty much outside of town, and the whole town is just surrounded by these farms, just as far as the eye can see. And on both sides, this is corn, and then coming up, those are soybean fields there. And this just goes on for mile after mile, just wide open space and farmland. But the further out you get, though, I think you kind of get into like higher income people, just because they own these farms basically, or at least that's just my observation. Anyhow, that will conclude our driving tour of Kellerton. Hello again, everyone. I'm now about 3-4 miles outside of Kellerton, Iowa, and I found this really cool looking, it could be a school building or perhaps maybe a church, and it looks like it's been abandoned for quite some time. And inside here, there's just, looks like they're using maybe a little bit of storage. There's some barbed wire further back. bunch of other junk in here, but very interesting looking building. Certainly has a lot of character to it, and it's just really odd why a building like this would be left to rot. Maybe at one time this area might have fell on hard times, and then I guess it came back, or at least right in here it did anyway. And it looks like maybe they added that barn door later on, because I don't think you would build all of that just to make it into a barn. Could be wrong. And hello again, everyone. Today I'm in the central part of Iowa, approximately 50 miles west of the capital, Des Moines. And the next town coming up is Linden, Iowa. Population 199 people. Rather small town, and it's gotten even smaller over the years. The population in Linden peaked in 1930 at 314 people. So over the last 90 years or so, they've lost about 1/3 of their population. And this is the town here. Just gonna check out some of these side streets, and some background information on Linden. The median resident age is 35 years old. Per capita income is $28,100. Median household income is $78,300. And that's rather hard to believe. Either the figures are off a little bit, or what is possible is the median household income figures. Oh, there's a deer over there. Deer caught in the headlights. He's just standing there waiting. But what could be going on with the $78,000 income figure is that they're including the surrounding farmland area. So say if you have a couple hundred acres of farmland, I mean, this really doesn't look like most of these people are making that much money. Not saying it's not possible, but it just doesn't really appear that way. Anyhow, continuing on, crime in Linden is rather low at 14 incidents per 1,000 people, so that's about half the national average for the crime rate. 94% of residents are white, and the unemployment rate here is rather low at 2.2%. And from the looks of it, it looks like the farming and agriculture is the main industry here. And just up ahead, they have a couple of those grain elevators, and those look like those are in use. So I would say most of the 199 people living here are employed, or possibly they're retired and senior citizens. 51% of residents are Republican, 60% are married, 9% are widowed. So there is a older percentage of the population. 93% of residents completed high school, and approximately 9% of residents graduated from college. So they do have a educated population workforce here. And we're just about to the end of town, I believe. It's just going to be mile after mile of these cornfields, and basically the whole town is just surrounded in every direction by these corn and soybean fields, and the paved road just ended. We're now on gravel road, and that will conclude our tour of Linden. And I'm now about 5 miles outside of Linden, and this is what I meant when I said that some of the country people, farmers, are doing a little bit better than a lot of the in-town folk. And certainly not every house looks like these two, but apparently some people are doing quite well, and that probably also brings up the average income figures for everyone else too.